I told my parents, I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Like my thigh, like it hurts really bad. And I tried taking some painkillers. My mom's a nurse practitioner, and she gave me some painkillers that were at the house. And thank God, because they were supposed to put me to sleep. Thank God they didn't, because if they did, and I would have went to sleep for maybe like 2 or 3 more hours, that's when the doctor said that I could have lost my leg.
What's going on today? I'm the host, SchuZ Schumaker, and joining me today is one-time All-Missouri Valley Conference second team selection, two-time Missouri Valley Conference regular season champion, the number 28 ranked transfer according to ESPN's top 100 transfers, and one of the newest members of the Missouri Tigers, Noah Carter. Noah, appreciate you taking time to come on today, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, brother.
Absolutely, man. Well, you went through this journey, you went to the portal, you found your new home, that's Missouri. To have that weight off your shoulders now, to be able to say you're committed, you know where you're going to play next year. How's it feel? And has it even settled in a little bit now for yourself?
Man, honestly, it feels great. I'm happy to be at the program I'm at, and I'm really looking forward to really changing the program around and being very successful. And I'm really looking forward to going in every day and working hard and just getting better. But man, it really hasn't settled in yet. I haven't, being not being on campus yet and everything, and still being here in Cedar Falls in Iowa, it really hasn't really sunk in. But man, I'm really looking forward to it.
You are probably going to get out there sometime in the next couple of months or so. Is there a certain date that you're looking to get out there by? And or like what's the earliest you get out there latest? Like what's kind of the plan for you guys in terms of getting out to Missouri?
I'm hoping to get down there middle of May, but if not, I'll for sure be down there at the beginning of June.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to get a lot into Missouri and stuff, but I want people to get to know your story because, as I mentioned in the intro, you are now one of the top transfers and was once again a loaded transfer class, and you have become one of the top players in the country last year. So I want people to get to know how you become the Noah Carter that we all know you as. So if we head all the way back, you originally are from Iowa, Dubuque to be specific. So what was it like growing up out there?
Man, I would say, I'd probably say, underrated for sure. I played, AAU with the Iowa Barnstormers, and man, just, countless tournaments going, and surprising a lot of people. People just not expecting us to do well and not expecting me to do well. I know I've always been, kind of underlooked because, I was always that little pudgy kid that could only shoot threes and stuff. And then I evolved my game, but man, it's crazy, because people when they think of Iowa, they just think of cornfields, but I think we're much more than that.
That is a unique thing because there have been a lot more guys that are talented coming out of Iowa, but it still is under the radar. And this hasn't historically been a ton of great players. So it is harder to create a name for yourself. We see a lot more guys that are underrated that come out of Iowa, and we see them at the college game or NBA level. So how have you been able to work your way up? And obviously, your past couple of years have helped you get to this point too. But how are you able to really become a Division I athlete while growing up in Iowa?
Honestly, just putting in work and getting better every day. Just doing as much to get your name out there. I remember, back getting into high school, I wasn't really getting looked at all. And then, I made the Iowa Barnstormers team, and, I continued to put in that work and just open up eyes. That's all you really can do, just continue to open up eyes no matter where you go. And that was something that I did. And I finally started to pick up a couple offers, and now I'm here.
I know every athlete has their own pastimes, the things that they like to do off the court, and I have to imagine that yours is fishing and hunting, based on your social media and stuff. So you have to get to that a little bit. Like, what's led to those passions for yourself?
Well, it's actually crazy because my dad, black man, he's from the South Side of Chicago. He came to Iowa for school. He came to Iowa to play college basketball, and after that was done, he moved out into the country and started a family, and now he kind of became a redneck and started fishing and hunting and stuff. And ever since I was born, he's just been paving the way for me. So I've really learned a lot from my dad and people around me, and I definitely, I was actually out today, shooting guns and shooting my bow and fishing this past weekend. So it's just something I love to do.
So if you could pick one other pastime to do, rather it be hunting for a certain specific animal or fishing, what would you say is your preference? What's your favorite thing to go do?
Man, I got to say fishing. Like I got my own boat. Like I love fishing. That's probably my favorite thing to do.
Now, I know there's going to be a couple opportunities to possibly do that out there in Missouri too. Have you already lined that up, and do you have plans to go out there and start adventuring out there now?
Man, I swear, as soon as I committed, I opened up all my apps and I was looking at all the places to go fishing and everything. So I got a couple spots lined up, and yeah, I'm definitely I'm bringing my boat down there this summer, and I'm gonna hit it hard.
So when did that officially start for yourself? I mean, I'm sure, like you said, your dad kind of brought you into as you're younger, but when did you start really falling in love with that?
I think the first time I ever caught a fish that I can remember was around 3 or 4. You know, just like fishing with a little bobber or something like that. But you know, ever since I started growing up and I was able to start doing it on my own, that's just when I started. You know, I fell in love with it. I tried to do it as much as I could, and you know, I had my dad there helping me, and yeah, I think from the jump I really fell in love with it.
So when did basketball come into play for yourself then? When did that really start becoming something that you wanted to play?
I always played it because you know, I had my older brother, and my dad obviously showing me and teaching me and stuff. But you know, when I kind of started to grow up in around like fifth or sixth grade, and I was like, man, I think you know, this is something I can really do. And I was watching my older brother who's 4 years older than me, and then just watching him play and the competitiveness that he was playing with, you know, it really just drove me to get better. And you know, about middle school and getting into high school, I really knew I could take it to places where I could use it and, you know, get free education and, you know, hopefully, you know, take it to a professional level. So once I realized that, I knew it was, you know, time to really lock in and, you know, just try to get the best that I can be.
Having a dad that play at the collegiate level as well, how big has that been for you to kind of have an idea of what it takes to get to that level, and at the same time just kind of how to guide your path to get to that point?
Man, my dad, he knows a lot of stuff. He knows a lot of people. He has a lot of connections, and he does everything in his power to, you know, for the betterment of me. And you know, I'm very thankful for everything that he does for me because, you know, without him I wouldn't be here today, and I wouldn't know as half as much as I know. So you know, just him pushing me every single day, and him pushing my family to be the best that we can be, it really just helped me.
What would you say is the biggest lesson that your dad's taught you in terms of yourself on the court?
I think the biggest thing he's taught me is, you know, never back down from anybody. You know, growing up, you know, I've always, you know, when I was a little kid and stuff like that, going up against, you know, bigger people, he said never back down, no matter what. You know, always go at him, give him your all, and you know, he's taught me a lot of things, but that's probably one of the biggest things that's you know, stuck with me is, you know, you can handle all battles. You know, just go in there and put God first and give your best.
I have to imagine it's you and your brother and you and your dad play one-on-one candy court or something growing up. So how do those games typically go between you guys?
Well, shoot, it's we used to we haven't played for a while, but growing up, my brother used to kick my butt. He used to always because he was always bigger than me and always faster and always stronger. And then we never really got to play with my dad because, you know, he got old. He was like, "Oh, I'm done playing basketball. I'll just let you guys play." But once I got to college, probably my freshman year, that was when I really was like, okay, I think I can take care of this. And don't get me wrong, my brother's still a great player, but I think that's when I passed him.
So if you guys go and play 21 right now, what's the score probably going to be?
Shoot, man, it depends. It depends. I haven't seen my brother playing a little bit, and you know, I don't know if we were playing to 21, I'll give him 10. But I think I'm winning that game pretty handily.
A unique piece about you, though, is that at 6'6", you play a lot bigger than you are. You can run pretty much any position on the court. You obviously are able to score at will, but at the same time, you can go bang with the guys at the 4 or the 5 at the same time. Has that always been something that you've been able to do? Have you just learned to be able to pretty much be a versatile player, play 2, 3, 4, 5 positions at once? Has that always been something you've been able to do, or has that kind of helped grow over time?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I got to give credit to my brother. He used to always, you know, beat up on me in the backyard. We were always playing, and you know, it really taught me. If I want to be good, I gotta at a young age, you know, I gotta be able to play with kids that are bigger than me, and you know, being able to find a touch, use my left hand, use my right hand, and you know, really just, you know, find the game down in the post. And then when I got to high school, I was a 5 man that could shoot the ball and then also be able to survive down in the post. So you know, just from a young age, learning that game and, you know, just kind of evolving it.
Anyone that grows up in the AAU system, typically you know that the tallest kid is going to automatically run five, and that's kind of what you have to run. But for yourself, as you said, you've been a guy that can shoot at will pretty much. You can shoot the three ball at a very high efficiently rate. Has that always been something that you has been a part of your game that take time to develop, or when did you really start becoming a shooter?
I think I've always been a shooter. You know, that's something I've always worked on. I thought I always had a pretty good looking jump shot, and that's something I work on every single day. So I think that's something I've just always had, and you know, I've definitely just tried to add everything else to it.
Would you say that was something that you just had naturally, you just wanted to put into your game? Was your dad someone that kind of said, all right, you add into a 3-point shot? Or what kind of started the trend for you to say, okay, I want to start establishing a 3-point shot in my game?
I kind of think it came kind of natural, and then just working on getting my feet right, and always just working in the gym, just always just getting shots up. But I do think my shot kind of came natural to me.
So let's go into that high school career for yourself. And before we officially get into the seasons and the games you played out there, if someone would have told you that by the end of that career you were going to become a Division I player, would that have shocked you, or would that have been something that you just expected to have happen?
I don't think it would have shocked me because I think that was my goal. I think that was that was the thing that I was striving for, to play at the Division I level. But just the course that it took is something I'm very proud of, and man, it's something I really worked hard for, and I'm happy that I got.
So you choose to go out there to Dubuque Senior High, and that's where you establish a 4-year career for yourself. What led you to that school, though? Why was that the school that you wanted to play all 4 years at?
So actually, throughout middle school, I became really close friends with some people that were going to be going to senior, and my other siblings, my brother and sister, actually started their careers at the rival school in Dubuque.
Mhm.
And I kind of just took my own path and went to Dubuque Senior, and started playing with my friends, and we really became close, and we started doing some really good things. And one of my two of my good friends, Sam Link and Nick Timmerman, we played varsity as freshmen, and we kind of just really started to grow in our 4-year careers on varsity, and we really just became a family and started playing well.
So let's go into that freshman year then. As you said, you're a 4-year player on varsity and you have a great career there. Was that something that you were kind of established? Like you kind of figured, okay, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to be a 4-year starter. Was that surprising that you were on varsity right away? Or kind of takes that first year in high school?
Actually, so my freshman year, I started playing. I played 2 quarters on sophomore and then 4 quarters varsity, because I guess that's just a rule in Iowa. And I started out. I felt like I was always fine playing sophomore. I was like, yeah, I can play with these kids. And then my first couple of games on varsity, I was like, man, I'm really here. Like, this is always something that I looked up to as a kid. And then I'd say about halfway through the season, I really started, I stopped playing sophomore and I was just playing varsity only. And then I got my starting position, and I feel like I kind of just took off from there, and I really started to really grow in my body and evolve my game. And I really started to grow.
We know you now as a 6'6" guy that's right around like 230 pounds. Have you always been a bigger kid in terms of height, weight, and all that? Or is that something that just kind of came over time? Or when did this first, like, when were you in terms of the growth aspect of your years in high school?
Yeah, I always have been that. My family always said I had a little bit of baby fat on me, but yeah, I always was a little bit of a bigger kid. And then I feel like once I got to high school, I really started to grow. I think my freshman year I was about 6'2", 6'3", and then I grew a little bit since then. But I started. I think I got my first dunk, freshman year, and then I was able to start dunking in games sophomore year, and then junior year and senior year it was just so easy. And yeah, just kept on growing and getting better, and started lifting weights and everything. So yeah.
You go into that second season of high school and you establish yourself now as one of the key players. You guys are a 19-win team and you get second team all state. What was that second year in high school like?
Man, I think it was a real eye opener, because obviously I was still an underclassman being a sophomore, but really just seeing that we're a team, we're one of the best teams in the state, and I got 2 more years left with my friends and my brothers, and I was like, man, we can really do some special things, and I think that was just really an eye opening year.
So after that season, then you go into your junior year, and I know you end up having an injury. You end up missing quite a few games that season. Walk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, so I played our first two games of the year. We won both of them, and then during a practice, I mean, I guess it goes back. I got kneed really bad in my left thigh, And then about 2 weeks later, I got kneed again during practice, and my leg just swole up really bad. And I had this thing called compartment syndrome, and I needed immediate surgery. And man, I was probably a couple hours out. If I didn't have the surgery right away, I'd probably losing my leg. So I woke up from our surgery, and I didn't really know, because I had no idea what compartment syndrome was. I didn't know if I was gonna, be able to play basketball again, walk again. So there was a lot of things that, I was very, I didn't know what was going on. But man, I remember waking up in the hospital, and going to the bathroom and seeing that my leg was wide open, and just seeing, man, I was asking the doctor, like, can I play? Will I be able to play basketball again? And he said, yeah. He said, you got blessed, and you're probably going to be able to come back later this season. And that's all I really needed. I just needed to hear that. And God blessed me to have this scar on my leg to remind me every single day that, life could be taken away from you, but if you put your faith in God, anything can happen. So, I'm blessed to be here in the position that I'm in. And yeah, it's definitely pretty cool being able to see the scars on my leg and know that I'm taken care of.
So we got to go back to when this first happened, because that's something, like you said, I don't think too many people are familiar with that. So when it first originally happened, like you said, you got a knee or whatever happened on your thigh. Was it extremely painful for yourself? Did you feel like something was wrong? Maybe you broke something or something like that? Or what was your feeling when that first originally happened?
Yeah, so 2 weeks prior to getting the knee, I got, during practice, I got a really bad, like, Charlie horse right in my left thigh. And I mean, I was doing like little stem and icy hot and stuff like that. And, I really didn't think anything of it, like, just power through. And then 2 weeks later, I got kneed again, and it was bruised up and everything. And then later that night, I was taking an Epsom salt bath, and I just noticed, I was like, man, my leg is like, my thigh is huge. Like, it's really swollen. And then, about an hour after that, that's when the pain started to kick in. And it was like, it's like having a cramp in your thigh, but like, it was like, man, I'd say like 5 times worse. And it was just constant. Like, it would not go away. So I told my parents, I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, my thigh, like, it hurts really bad. And I tried taking some painkillers. My mom's a nurse practitioner, and she gave me some painkillers that were at the house. And thank God, because they were supposed to put me to sleep. Thank God they didn't, because if they did, and I would have went to sleep for maybe like 2 or 3 more hours, that's when the doctor said that, I could have lost my leg. But anyways, I ended up going to the hospital, and they're like, yeah, you need immediate surgery, like, right now. Like, this is very serious. So I was like, man, I have no idea what's going on. So they ended up cutting my leg open to release the pressure. Yeah, and they needed to do that. And then I woke up the next day, and then my leg was wide open. So I wish I could show you the pictures, but like, my leg was wide open. I have 2 scars on my leg. And then the next day I had the next surgery for them to close it up. But yeah, it was definitely a scary moment. But everything worked out. So it was all good.
Now, is that something that you naturally had a disease or something like that happens, or is it something that just happens off an injury, or how does it even start where that could be something that occurs to anybody?
To be honest, I don't know how it happened, because they said it usually happens in the calf, instead of the thigh. And man, I'm not even sure. Like, I'm not sure if it's like how hard I got hit in my leg, but pretty much it's just when you have a deep thigh bruise, or just a deep bruise, when that gets popped and the swelling just starts to flow and circulate. That's pretty much what it is. So that's what happened. And I'm not really sure, like, how easy it is to happen. I know it's not really common, so I don't want people to be worried that it could happen to them if they get a Charlie horse. But yeah, that's what happened.
Now, as you said, you have this major injury that looks, at least appears to yourself. You get find out that you can play the season again. But what was the rehab process like? Was it a hard rehab process? Was it really easy for yourself, or what was the rehab process like of getting back and playing that season?
Yeah, well, I remember the doctor was telling me that there's maybe a chance that you can come back at the end of the season. And I remember just taking that. I was like, yeah, I'm as soon as I can, I'm gonna get back on the court. But pretty much all it was I would do rehab pretty much every day, and just to strengthen the muscles around my leg. And then after that, it was pretty much just the waiting time, just to, for my leg to heal around the scar, to where it wouldn't just burst open when I was running or something like that. And as soon as it was done, we had the staples in it. And as soon as they took the staples out, and the healing occurred, I was able to get back on the court. And yeah, I think I ended up playing maybe 7 or 8 more games later that year to finish off the year. So I think I missed like about a month and a half, thankfully, and yeah, it was a speedy recovery.
I want to ask you a little bit on the recruiting process at this point in time. We'll go a little bit deeper into it later on, but when this injury occurred heading into your junior season, where were you in terms of offers? Did you have any at that point? Were they just a couple in place? Were you just talking to colleges, or where were you in terms of the recruiting aspect when this injury occurred?
When this injury occurred, I only had one Division I offer, and that was to North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think I was talking to some other schools, but I only had one offer. And I remember thinking I was on the before I had my surgery. I'm like, man, like should I like call North Dakota and tell them that I'm going to commit right now? Because I honestly I had no idea what was going on, and man, it was honestly a scary time. But yeah, I only had the one offer, but after that, yeah, thank God everything worked out and was able to continue playing.
And that is a hard thing about high school because there have been more routes that people have created now. Obviously, you have post grad years and JUCO, whatever. There could be different routes to getting to Division One. But when you just look at being able to leave your senior year and going right out to playing college Division One, it really is that 4-year timer. And obviously, people don't realize this as they don't look at it in that way for too many people because obviously you see the top ranked recruits, it just naturally happens. But for guys that aren't getting the spotlight yet, if you have a major injury that makes you miss 1 whole year or 2 years, whatever it is, or even a certain time period where you kind of say, okay, I only have so much more time left to fulfill that dream of mine. Did that pressure start building up for you at all throughout that surgery and then obviously throughout your junior year? Or how did you take that in terms of looking at the outlook of playing at the college level?
I feel like after my injury, I really didn't worry too much about it because I knew everything was going to be okay and I was going to be able to play, continue to grow as I was. And, after that year, after that high school year and then going into summer and starting to play AAU, that's kind of when I really started to take off in my recruitment. I started to get more looks and get more offers and everything. And I knew everything was going to be okay at that point. But yeah, I know it was definitely a scary time. And, looking back on it, it was definitely, pretty troubling. But, like I said, God bless me and everything was okay.
Now, I do want to touch up a little bit on your faith right now, too. And obviously, anyone that goes through anything in life, obviously, God is huge to have in there. But especially when you go through something that you're uncertain on, that obviously was a case for yourself. And when we look back at obviously, it wasn't as serious in terms of you still were able to play basketball and you were able to get back in just a couple months. But at that time, it was probably much more serious. You guys were thinking so many different things. How big was your faith in God at that point in time for you?
I think it was very big. I mean, first off, I wouldn't be here without God. And, Jesus Christ, He blessed me every single day. From a young age, my dad really, put that in my life, and I'm very thankful he did. He really showed me Christ and the great things that He does, and I pray every day, and I'm very thankful for everything that He does for me because I wouldn't be here in this, at this point in my life, and I got to say that first, but. Yeah, I think throughout my whole life, I guess obviously I didn't understand it as much as I did now, being a little kid. But yeah, I really I'm a big believer in my faith, and I will continue to be that.
And I know anyone that grows up in a Christian household, I mean, obviously I grew up in that situation where you know the stories, you know the Bible and all that stuff, but then there comes that time where you form that personal one-on-one bond with God. Would you say that happened prior to the injury? Were you already pretty much good with God? Obviously, you've grown since that time too, but like, did you already have that separate where you had that own personal relationship with God, or did that help bring you closer and really start establishing that one-on-one relationship with God at that point?
I think my injury definitely helped me create that one-on-one bond. Definitely asking him like, what is my future going to be? What's going to happen? And, being able to really, sit down and pray and have some time to communicate one-on-one. And yeah, I definitely think my injury, really brought me closer to him.
So let's get back into your junior season. Then you get back out there and you play games again. What was it like to step foot back on that court and say, I've only missed about 1 or 2 months, but I'm back on that court now. I'm able to play this game I love. What was that feeling like?
Man, I just got chills thinking about it. I think the first game that I was able to come back was probably one of my most memorable games. Just being there and having everybody being able to support me, and we went out there and we played one of our other rival schools in town, and it was a very fun game, and just being able to be back on the court and help the team to go out there and win was just a feeling that I can't really reciprocate. It was just an awesome feeling. But yeah, being able to go out there and play again was amazing, and it felt really good.
So as you mentioned a little bit earlier, and we're going to get heavily in the recruiting process in a second, but you go into your final AAU season, then what kind of was going through your mindset? Because that's when you do end up starting getting some Division One offers. What was your goals and aspirations like? Did you expect to be able to blow up that summer? What were you feeling just heading into that final AAU season for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping to, go out there and just, really just hoop and show the world, show the nation what I have. I always believed in myself. I had people behind me that believed in me, and really just to go out there and open eyes. And I think that's kind of what I did. I remember my first tournament, playing, and right after that, I really started to get some looks. And yeah, I think just going into that AAU season, it was really just open eyes and let the world know what you're capable of.
As you were going through that AAU season, you started getting more offers. What was that feeling like?
Man, it was awesome because I always pictured myself as a little kid, getting offers and talking to these head coaches and really trying to figure out where I was going to go. And honestly, it was really good. I remember I was talking to some schools, and that's when I decided to go to UNI. I think I decided to go to UNI before I think our last two tournaments of the year.
Mhm.
And to be honest, I think I committed a little early because I always wanted to, wait and then commit in the fall. And I always had the dream of, having like maybe some like hats or something on the table and deciding like that. But yeah, I was very happy to commit to UNI and be close to home and play at a Division I level and play at a successful school.
You see with a lot of guys that if you're 6'6", they might say, okay, let's cut down to this weight and let's make you more like a typical shooting guard or small forward, whatever that position that your coaches wanted you to be at. But obviously, you chose to say, you know what, I think I can produce at a high level. I like, to be someone that can bang around with the four and the fives, still run a two or three as well. We see guys like David Roddy is obviously a big example of that. No one really thought he'd be the type of guy he is today. Everyone thought, cut the weight, do this or that, whatever it is. He stayed unique, and now he's a All-American type player. Take us through your mindset though. Like, what allowed you to say, it might not be a typical body size for a lot of different guys at my height, but I think I can believe in this. I know that I can be successful at this. What kept you confident in that?
Honestly, just getting to college and just going through the college lifestyle, to play Division I basketball. I knew I had to lose some weight, just to, be able to hold my own and make it up and down the court. But yeah, I feel like once I lost that weight and I felt like I was at a good weight, I was like, man, it's time to cut body fat and, put on muscle and just get better. And I think I did that. And I feel comfortable at the level I am. I mean, obviously I want to continue to get in the best shape I can. But I think it is nice, being able to, like you said, be able to hold my own down in the post and also be out there, be able to go on the perimeter and do the things I need to do.
Let's hop into your senior year of high school then. That's by far your best season. You get first team All State. You guys go 22-5 as a team. What was that senior year of high school like for yourself?
Man, that was a special time. I knew it was, it's make or break time. This is my last year of high school, and I always dreamt of, winning a state championship. And man, we came really close. We ended up losing the state championship, but it was an awesome time. And I just remember going to state and having the whole city behind us, and really just having a great time and doing it the right way.
I mentioned earlier that Iowa might not have a long list of top guys that come out of the state, but there are a lot of underrated players that we might now know of because of their college careers. But who would you say was your favorite guy to match up with? If you could go pick one guy, maybe two or three guys that you love matching up against in the state, who would they be?
Shoot. Honestly, we kind of played them all to get to state and at state. One of my really good friends, DJ Carton,
Mhm.
we played him to make the game to make it to state, and I remember playing. So we played him, and then the very next game, one of my other good friends, we played Patrick McCaffrey, the first round of state, and then the next game we played Tucker DeVries and my friend Noah Hart. He wasn't playing because he tore his ACL, but he was on that team. And then we played in the championship game. We played Cedar Falls, which had a lot of good players. That's where AJ Green went to high school. And man, so we played a lot of good players. And yeah, I think we definitely had the toughest road, but it was definitely fun and definitely worth it.
You look back at all the memories you created on the court throughout your high school career. What would you say is your favorite one?
Man, shoot, I honestly think when we played the game to make it to state when we played DJ Carden in Bettendorf, playing that game, I think I ended up having 30 points, and just the feeling of man, we finally kind of got over the hump, because the past 2 years we didn't make it to state, and being able to like, all right, yeah, we made it. Like, it's time to get down there and get to business, get to work, and just that feeling of happiness and being able to walk around school and just pure happiness. I think that was probably my most memorable high school moment.
How was the biggest lesson? Would you say there's one lesson that you took away that you learned from your high school career that you've now applied to your life, or even just specifically on the basketball court?
Yeah, I definitely think it's when I had my injury. I think it just taught me that, nothing's given. This thing can be taken, this thing of life can be taken away from you just like that in a little snap.
Yep.
So, just, give it your all every single day. Don't take anything for granted. And yeah, I think I've lived by that since then.
I also want to touch up a little bit on the ranking aspect. And for yourself, obviously you came out, you weren't a ranked player, you didn't have the stars. Now today, if we were to go back, I'm sure you would have been somewhere in those rankings. But for yourself, did that ever get to you? And how did you handle that? How did you deal with not being someone that had the stars and the rankings going throughout high school?
I think I always knew that I probably wasn't going to, and I think I kind of put a chip on my shoulder. Go out there and really prove these people wrong, and prove why you belong to be here. And I think I still live by that today. Some people aren't going to give you give you your credit, and they're not going to really want to see you succeed. So that's why you got to go out there and do it. You got to prove these people wrong, and make them believers.
If you were to go back and you were your high school self coming out of your senior year, where would you have ranked yourself? Do you think you would have been a top 50, top 100, top 150? Like, where did you feel at that time that you should have been ranked at?
I mean, honestly, I couldn't even tell you. I guess I'd probably say like a top 100, but I never really got too much into the rankings because, no matter what, you could be a 5-star, but you still going to have to go out there on the court. And my dad always used to say, they got to put their pants on just like you do. So I kind of, would think about that. And I was like, yeah, like they got to go up against me, and I'm for sure not going to back down to them. So it's time to go play and see who can really ball.
That is a huge thing why I'm always been someone's vocal. I'm not too big on rankings at all. They are what they are. But you talk about someone like yourself, and there's countless guys that have the similar story to yourself, guys that didn't have, whatever, for whatever reason, or didn't get a lot of offers or rankings, whatever. How much has that fueled you now into becoming the player that you are today? Because you've developed a ton from your freshman year to today. How much has that fueled you now in your college career?
I think, I mean, it definitely fuels me a lot. Like, I think just the feeling of, people don't really, think that I'm not good or something like that. They don't want to give you the stars. And I just say, that's fine. I guess I got to go out there and prove them wrong.
Well, I want to go into your recruiting process a little bit more now. You kind of touched up on it, but we head back now. I know there's some schools that were involved. Obviously, you had Drake, you had Wofford, you had Lehigh, you had North Dakota. Obviously, we know Northern Iowa was in the mix too there for yourself. Who was really in the finals for yourself? Like, if you had a group that you were to say was maybe a top 1 or 2, 3 schools, maybe even, who were the serious schools you're considering coming out of high school?
At the time when I committed, it was definitely between South Dakota State and UNI.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I really liked South Dakota State was because the Coach TJ Otzelberger was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I really believed him in it as a coach, and I felt really good about it. And that's kind of why I I don't really regret committing to UNI so early, but I kind of, if I had to do it over, I wouldn't have committed so soon. I probably would have waited till the fall, because I don't know. I feel like out of high school, maybe I could have got a little bit, maybe like a little bit of, higher level schools, to offer, but, that really wasn't anything. I was happy with what I had, but, yeah, I think, it was definitely down to those schools. And then obviously, I committed to UNI, and it just felt right. I was closer to home. I would have my support and everybody right there. And, UNI was a great school, and still is.
What was it about Coach Jacobson that won you over when he came in and told you, we want you to be in this program? We're going to go to the Missouri Valley Conference, a pretty solid conference overall. In my opinion, it's a very underrated conference. What was his pitch to you, though, and ultimately, how did he win you over?
He kind of just gave me the pitch of this is a program that's had success, and look who you're going to be playing with. I knew, I mean, pretty much everybody on the team, and I knew, growing up that, or I guess coming through high school, that they were always successful, and the people that they were getting, they were my friends and people that I knew, and being able to play with them and being able to play close to home and being able to have the support that I had, just having that right there and at that school was something that really meant a lot to me.
There's someone on that team that I want to go into right now, and that's AJ, who we all know is a top player. I think if he chose to stay in this draft and go, he could very well found himself a career, whether it be drafted or undrafted, going on a two-way or something like that. I think he's a great chance of playing the NBA at a high level. He's your teammate there out there, and you guys at first, obviously, you guys have a rotational spot as a freshman. Then he doesn't play much his sophomore year, but you guys eventually now become one of the better dynamic duos in the country, in my opinion, this past season. So going into him a little bit, did you guys know each other going from the start? Like, did you guys know each other before you commit there and got to campus? Or did you guys first get to know each other when you guys met each other out there? Or how about when you guys first got to know each other?
Yeah. So AJ played with the Iowa Barnstormers too. So, and I used to play against him in high school all the time because we were in the same conference. So, me and AJ, we knew each other pretty well. And then we love doing the same things. He loves fishing and hooping. So obviously we connected right away. And then, right as soon as we got on campus, we started fishing and working out together, and really just created a bond. And I'm happy to say I can call AJ a good friend, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him succeed, and I can't wait to see him tear it up in the NBA.
So if you guys were to end up playing each other next year in college, if you did go somewhere and you guys happen to match up, what would that be like?
Man, it'd be a crazy thing, being able to play against each other, or just seeing each other at a different stage. I think it'd be pretty cool, and it's a pretty cool feeling, just thinking about it. But yeah, I mean, if it does happen, I'm looking forward to it.
On the other side of that, is there a chance? I know you guys still have 2 scholarship spots open, I believe, as of last time I checked. Is that a chance he possibly comes up there to Missouri with you?
I hope he does, but man, whatever AJ does, I'm very happy for him. And man, like I said, whatever he does, I really hope he succeeds, and I'm really wishing the best for him.
And as I mentioned, he hasn't necessarily obviously played in the NBA yet, but he has that mindset that's hoped to become an elite player. Being around that mindset for the past 3 years, how much has that helped you as a player develop into who you are today?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely helped me a lot. AJ showed me, just the hard work aspect of, becoming the best that you can be, putting in as much work as you can. And I think that's definitely tied into, to my game as well, just putting in the work and finding the results from that.
What's the craziest and what's the funniest story that you have of being around AJ?
The craziest, I don't know if I have like a craziest story, just seeing him like in workouts, ripping his shirt or something like that. And I'm like, damn, AJ, like calm down. It's going to be okay. And then, man, the funniest is I can't think of a certain story, but, just being out fishing and just, having a great time with them, and, just being able to spend time with them and have good times. It was always a great time.
So how often did you guys go fishing? Was that something that was like a once a week type of thing, a couple times a week, or how often do you guys usually typically, like on average, go fishing with each other?
Shoot, whenever we weren't as busy as heck, we like over the winter we'd go ice fishing and we've been planning some fishing to do like pretty recently. I know he's pretty busy right now, and whenever he's not as busy as he is, we're gonna get on the water and do some fishing. But we did fishing quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie, we probably either once or twice a week, I'd say.
So I also want to go into Coach Jacobson a little bit more because you go in there and you have a pretty solid role your first year. You obviously don't start any games, but overall you develop into becoming a star in this team. How would you say your guys' relationship grew from the first time you guys first started talking in the recruiting process to today? How much did that relationship grow?
Yeah, I mean, just being able to get to know each other and, obviously time, we definitely grew a lot and, getting more trust and him having more faith in me. It grew our relationship and over time, it just, brought us together.
What's going to that first year you have out there as a freshman? As I said, you don't start any games, but was that what you were expecting? Did you think you would be a starter that season? Did you think you'd be a bench player? Did you think you weren't going to play at all? Or what was your expectations for your first year when you're going through training camp and the preseason work?
Honestly, my expectations were, just go out there and give my all. And obviously, I wanted to start, and that's how I feel about everything. And I want to go out there and be as productive as I can for the team. But I mean, yeah, just going out there and give my all was pretty much my whole mindset.
There's a certain thing that you get established by going to that school because something that is critical for any player, in my opinion, is getting that winning mentality and how to win games, so the winning culture about you. And your second year, obviously, your sophomore year, had a lot of COVID stuff. You guys don't win as much, but your first 2 years, you guys go and win 45 games combined. You guys only lose 18 games. How was that established in you? Like, what was it about that winning culture out there that you kind of established into yourself?
Just going out there and expecting to win, expecting to make the NCAA tournament. I know we never did, but that was our goal. That was what we expected to do. Winning the regular season conference, like those were things that we expected for ourselves. And I think when you held yourself to that, to that level, and you hold yourselves accountable, and you put yourself in the best situation, and you have a team with people that have the same thoughts and goals as you. I think that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a successful team out of that.
Take us through your very first year of college basketball. You guys go 25-6. You guys have an incredible season. You still contribute at a pretty solid level that year as well. What was your first year of college like?
Man, it was awesome. It was just it was something that like I said, I've always dreamt of playing and doing, and after finally being able to do it, and be able to be on the big stage and go out there and play, it felt amazing. And then I really developed a hunger to grow and get better, because I wanted to have a bigger role in the team. I want to be a person that had a key role, and a person that you'd go to down in the later games. And I always just wanted a little bit more, continue to grow and continue to help the team as best I could.
A lot of freshmen typically have a freshman wake up moment, rather that be with their own training camp in the practices or that be one of the first games of the season. Did you have a freshman wake up moment? And if so, what was it?
Yeah, it was definitely the early season practices. I'd say that was probably my wake up moment. Just running and doing all this, just going through long, super long practices, and I was like, man, like some people are just aren't cut for it. And I think that's really when I was like, I think something clicked in my head, like, yeah, if you really want to make it, like, this is what it's going to be like. And I kind of understood from there that if you want to be successful, like, you're going to have to grow, and you're going to have to do this stuff. And I think, just ever since I started, like, on campus and getting in the weight room and stuff like that, like, I just had an understanding of what it was going to take to be good.
So you guys go through that duration of the season. You guys have, as I said, a 25-6 record. You guys win the regular season championship. Then COVID comes into play. And obviously that's messed with everybody to different levels. But you guys find out that information, and you guys obviously have to cancel the season. You guys don't get a chance to go to the tournament, all that. Walk us through how you guys found out and what you guys' reaction was when you guys got the news that the season was going to be shut down.
Man, we had actually just lost in our first round of our tournament, our conference tournament, and we had won our regular season championship, so we knew we were at least going to be playing the NIT, but we were still hoping for an at-large bid. But man, as soon as COVID hit, we were all just, I feel like as along with the rest of the country, just very surprised. Like, we had no idea what was going on, and I feel like we still don't know what's going on with like the COVID and everything, but yeah, it really just just confusion and not knowing what was going to happen.
When that happens and everyone pretty much gets sent home, you have to go through your life and figure out what you're going to do until things get settled down. Each player took that differently. Obviously, some guys that were in states like California, they didn't get it worked out at all. Other guys had a little bit more flexibility in terms of where they're living. But what was that summer like for yourself? Because we see the jump on paper. You obviously went from a guy that was a rotational piece to one of the key players on the team, a double-digit scorer, a six-rebound type of guy. What was that 5-6 months off season like for yourself during COVID? Like, how much were you able to develop during that time span?
Yeah, being at home, and I feel like being at home and being able to do things like be able to go fishing and being able to be around my family. I really learned, just talk with my family, just learn about the game and get a real understanding of what happened the year prior. And just getting in the gym and working out by myself. And then that summer being able to do a little bit of things with the team, and just really just being able to put a lot of work in, by myself, and and learn a lot about myself.
So when you guys are getting ready to go for that season, which obviously, as I talked to all guys, they always said it was great that they could play games, but it was hectic in terms of like testing and the mask wearing and all those regulations the NCAA made you guys do. But when you were just guys first started getting on campus together, being around the teammates again, what was that like?
Man, it was really fun, just being able to see everybody again. But man, was it hard, just doing all the testing and having to wear a mask all the time and not being able to have fans at games. Just it really took away, all that, the super fun aspects. Because like when I play, I love playing with a lot of energy. Like I love, hyping up the crowd and being able to hear people shouting and stuff like that, and not being able to have that, it was really tough, but. I mean, everybody had to go through it, and yeah, I think that's what just made that COVID year so tough.
So when you guys got going in that season, AJ, who was obviously going to expect to be the top guy on the team again, he obviously ends up only playing 3 games that season, and that obviously gives you a much larger role. You're become a guy that has to step up, become one, if not the main guy on the team. How are you able to embrace that role as a sophomore that year?
Just I think it really was an eye opener when AJ went down because we knew we weren't going to have him for the whole year. So just knowing that we were going to have to go out there and play and just it really just took a toll. I mean, not really took a toll, but just opened our eyes to know that this was going to be. And obviously, I felt I needed to step up and I was hoping for that bigger role, and I got it. So being out there, being able to go out there and play was something that I enjoyed.
Did you shock yourself at all by how well you were able to play last year, or was that something that you expected yourself able to do if you had the opportunity to?
I think that's something I expected myself to be able to do if I had the opportunity. And I mean, definitely being able to grow and just have that experience is something that is I feel like everybody grows when they have experience. So being able to have that time to go out there and play and learn a lot, it definitely grew on me and helped me, become a better player.
So what was that year like though? You have to go through the duration of a season where you don't know if you guys are playing games each night. It could be canceled one night, it could be postponed, it could happen. You never know. Anything could happen during that year, as everyone's experienced. What was it like having to deal with a season where it was just pretty much uncertainty every single day?
Man, to be honest with you, it kind of sucked because like you said, like one day we'd be getting ready for a game and all of a sudden it'd be canceled and then you'd have practice and just the uncertainty put a lot of pressure on people and not knowing what was going to happen and just I feel like everybody understands that it was just a sucky situation, like it sucked for everybody.
What would you say was the hardest part of that season for yourself?
um Shoot, just dealing with like the cancellations and stuff like you said, and the uncertainty of what was going to happen next, and then later that year, right, this how our season ended was probably the worst thing. We had a false positive at our conference tournament, and we were just coming off our first win in the tournament, and we were feeling really good, like our team was playing really well, and then we had a false positive, and because of the rules, we weren't able to play our next game, and that was just how our season ended, which just was awful. It just sucked a lot, but man, just I guess going through those experiences, helps you grow and hardens you.
Now, I'm someone that loves watching all levels of college basketball. I think each level and each conference has a lot of different talent in it, as we end up seeing during the transfer portal time now. But you and AJ was someone that I wish people could have got to see on the national level, because AJ, I think, could have been one of those guys we see become a Cinderella run sensation type of guy, yourself as well. If you guys didn't have COVID shut down pretty much 2 seasons, then your freshman year obviously completely knocked down playing NIT or going to the round. And obviously your sophomore year, you guys didn't even get a chance to play. If nothing happened COVID wise with those 2 years, do you think you guys could have played in the NCAA tournament those years?
I really do. I honestly I feel like my freshman year we could have had an at-large bid,
Yeah.
and was able to open some eyes then. And then last year, if we didn't have any COVID, being able to play a full year with the team that we had, I think we would have been successful as well. And then, last year or this past year, obviously it wasn't, what we were expecting, and we started off pretty rough. But man, I feel like if we got the opportunity, I really feel like we would have opened some eyes and really made a deep run.
Now, at the end of that season, you decided to put your name in the portal that time around. You obviously decided to come back to school after a couple of days. What led to the decision? Like, what made you say, let's go just go test the portal. I'm going to see what it was like.
Yeah, it was just I honestly I was only in the portal for about a couple hours, and just I was kind of I it was honestly just like really test the waters and see what was gonna happen, and then after a couple hours I was like I really feel like UNI is where I want to be at, and so I took my name out, and Coach Jake had me back, and we moved forward from that, and really started putting work in for the next season.
Were there any schools that you were able to talk to at that point? If so, was there anyone that made any kind of appealing pitch to you?
No, I didn't really talk to too many schools. I had some schools contact me and everything, but honestly, I think if I was going to transfer, it was going to be like to a bigger school, to maybe like Iowa State or something like that. But it never happened, and I was happy to come back to UNI.
So you then go into this past season, and you guys have the expectation of AJ's coming back and he's healthy, and everyone pretty much figured he'd be himself. And you come in and you have a huge jump as well, but everyone kind of expected that you would be another top guy as well. What were the expectations of the team though? When you guys looked at yourself and before the game started this season, what did you guys want to get done this year?
We wanted to make it to the NCAA tournament. We always talked about making it to the Final Four, and really making that deep run, and those are the expectations we had for our team. And starting off, we kind of had a little rocky road, and it didn't really go as things didn't really go as planned. But man, we definitely turned it around, and we made the best of it, and had a good season.
How did you guys do that? Because as you said, you guys had a little rough start there. You guys were not playing at least at the level some people expect you guys to. And then by the time tournament conference play and the tournament started and all that, you guys were playing at elite level and ultimately ended up losing to Loyola, who obviously is a special team as well there. But what kind of turned that around season around for you guys? Was it a players only meeting? Was it just you guys also started playing good, or what caused that shift in the season for you guys?
Over Christmas we had a trip to Hawaii, and I really feel like after we got back, we kind of just we sat down and we really watched some film, and we kind of really just had an understanding of like what we needed to do as a team to grow, and kind of from that point, we started playing well. I feel we all just understood our roles, and got really good at them, and we started working together, and everything kind of just started to come together, like we had pictured it, and we started playing really good.
And obviously, the rest of you guys' teammates did great too, but you really saw the duo between you and AJ merge. Then you two really became a 1-2 punch together. What caused you guys to all of a sudden click and start playing at a high level together now?
I got moved to the 5 spot, and I started playing that position, and we really started our offense kind of really started to flow together, and just really started to gel and work really well, and I think that's kind of what just started sparking everything, and we were able to work together, and we were causing lots of mismatches, and everybody was playing well, and it just everything started to flow from there.
And then the other unique thing about you is that you haven't always been a consistent starter throughout your career. You didn't start any of your first year. You started about half the games the second year. Last year, about the same thing. How have you embraced that? Because a lot of guys obviously would say, okay, if I'm not starting, I'm not going to play at the best. And some guys embrace a 6-man role too. But what caused you to say, kind of be embraced with whatever role coach gives you?
Yeah, obviously, like I always wanted to start, but I kind of gave the mindset of no matter what, I'm just gonna go out there and play my hardest, and try to go out there and win a position, win a spot, and when I was finally given the opportunity to go out there and start in lineup, I kind of took it, and I really started to I was starting to produce some pretty good numbers, and we started winning, and I think it all started to come together, and I think that was our best opportunity, and we really were showing it, and playing well.
Now, you don't end up making the NCAA tournament, but you guys do make the NIT. You guys even get a win in there. What was that experience like to be able to at least play on a tournament stage finally? What was that experience like?
Yeah, to be able to play in the March was an awesome time, because obviously the past 2 years we hadn't made it past our conference tournament. But being able to play some postseason basketball was really fun, and being able to get that first win down in St. Louis at the NIT was an awesome experience, and something that really taught me being able to play postseason basketball in college and playing into March, even though it wasn't the NCAA tournament, but to be able to play something was definitely a very cool experience.
Now, when you look back at your entire Northern Iowa career, all the ups and downs you went through, what would you say is your favorite memory that you created?
And I definitely have a couple. But I think my favorite memory was this past year when we played Loyola at home for the winner gets the conference title. And we ended up winning that game in overtime. And man, I it was just an awesome experience, after being able to get over that hump and win that game, and just the pure happiness of everybody. And I actually got a picture. It's one of my favorite pictures. It's me and my teammate Antoine Kimmons right after the horn goes off. We chest bumped it. He's giving me a hug, and you could just see everybody in the crowd is so happy. And it was just an awesome time and an awesome feeling.
So you've had to go against a lot of different top level guys throughout your career now in the Missouri Valley Conference. Who would you say has been your favorite matchup? If you could go pick one guy that you love matching up against, who was that?
Shoot, I would probably say, um, going up against Loyola, and their defense. I had a couple up and down games against them, but always being able to go up against them and battle and have very competitive games was something that I love doing. I love going up against the best of the best and being able to play against them, and I think that was definitely probably one of my favorite matchups.
So that season comes to conclusion after you guys lose to BYU and you ultimately decide to make the decision. Okay, I want to move on to the next stage of my career. I'm going to enter the transfer portal now for real. What led to that decision for yourself?
Honestly, I think it was something that I was kind of thinking of, prior, to the season ending, and it was just something that I felt was right. Talking with my family, and just like having an understanding of everything that was going on and what I wanted for my life, and I felt like it was time, and knowing that I had 2 years left of eligibility, looking forward to doing it, and I felt really bad, leaving the school that I had been at for 3 years prior, and I couldn't say enough good things about this school, and I love everybody here. I love the coaches and everything, but like you said, it was just time for me to take the next stage of my life and move forward.
You enter that portal, and as expected, you get countless schools coming after you, and you eventually narrow that down to Arkansas, Florida, Marquette, Missouri, and Virginia Tech. Take us through that process, though, from the time you did enter the portal, the amount of schools flooding your phone, to the time you narrowed it down to those five. What was that experience part like?
Man, it was very wild, just something that, you can only dream of, being able to, I always, always wanted to have that picture of, some very, very great schools and having like a top three or a top five, and finally being able to have that and have some really good schools, really look at me and want me to go to their schools. It was a really good, really cool experience. And having those top five schools and talking with them and just experiencing the whole recruitment process again, it was really cool.
So when you get to know those five schools, what was about those five programs? Why were those the ones that stood out the most to you?
Honestly, the coaching staff and just the atmosphere of everything. I wanted to go to a school where I could go and be successful, and I felt like I was going into a family atmosphere, and I took all things into accountability. Just feeling everything out, and that's the reason I came up with that top five.
So you end up getting go on a visit to Missouri, and I have to imagine that's what ultimately landed you, brought you to there. What was that visit like from the time you stepped foot on campus to the time you left? What was that visit like?
It was really good. To be honest with you, going into that visit, I really didn't feel like I was going to commit. Like right after, I was just, in my mind, I was going to go on all five of my visits and really see what each school had in place for me and everything. And I felt really good about the coaching staff. Coach Gates is, a very great person, and just hearing everything and really meeting with them, opened my eyes up to everything, and I felt really good about it. And then I think a couple of days later, I really just had an eye-opening experience. I felt like it was, God telling me that this is the place that you should really be at. And, I took that and I really thought about it, and, I prayed on it and everything. And, I felt really good about that decision. And, that's why I ended up, committing to Missouri.
So what were some of the things that Coach Gates had to do? After imagine you guys obviously went on the tour and saw the school and all that, but did you guys go to make a specific thing that's kind of stood out to you? What were some of the big things that you remember back at and you said, okay, that was something that was unique that you really enjoyed and kind of helped you in a way say, okay, I like this about Missouri?
Yeah, just being able to, they had all my stats and everything, just the way that the professional way that they had everything set up, and just hearing about Coach Gates and every like all the great things that he's done at Cleveland State and everything from the past, and just sitting down and talking to him, like the way he was talking with my family and everything, the way he was talking to me, like it felt right, and yeah, man, like it really it felt like a place where like I could really call home for the next 2 years, and a place where I think we're going to be really successful.
Now, when did you know that this is the school you wanted to go at? Because obviously, with that visit, like you said, it was pretty quickly after that you decided that. But at what point did it click? Was it on the visit? Was it right when you got home? Or when did you know that you were wanting to be a Missouri Tiger? Like that was the school that you wanted to go commit to?
The day I committed, I woke up and that was like I had no decisions made or anything. And then the day I committed was like I was like, all right, yeah, like this is what I want. So that's when I ended up calling Coach Gates and ended up telling him. And man, that was a really good feeling. Just being able to say like, I got it done, and I'm going to a successful school and a place that's a Power Five school in the SEC. It was an awesome feeling, and I'm very happy to be able to do that.
You got to take us through this conversation a little bit. When you call Coach Gates and you tell him that you're going to become a Tiger, what was his reaction? How did you tell him to take us through the whole story?
Man, so when I called him, and I tried starting it off pretty like just like a normal call, how it would be, and I almost tried to sound like a little depressing, like maybe I was gonna tell him like, oh, like I'm gonna move forward with my other schools, and then all of a sudden, I just told him I was like, well, coach, I want to come and play for you, like I want to become a Missouri Tiger, and he actually just started yelling, like he started screaming, and I'm like, man, like this dude is like really excited for this to happen, and man, he said I got it because at Missouri he puts out this thing called a bat signal. Whenever like they get a commit or like a new coach or something, he's like, all right, I got to go put out my bat signal, and then he hung up, and then he called me a couple minutes later and was just talking with me. But yeah, that's pretty much how it went down. It was just pure excitement.
I want to go into Coach Gates because I think he was one of the more underrated hires of this past coaching cycle. I think that what you look at his resume is a unique one. It's not, I think part of the reason some people might be a little skeptical and may not give him the highest grade I think that he deserves is because it is a little bit different. He doesn't, not a lot of people take the JUCO route or take all these underrated kids and develop them. And he likes his more experienced players. And he usually runs a 9, 10, maybe even 11 deep bench. It's a lot different than the typical coach, but he's been very, very successful out there at Cleveland State. So take us through him a little bit. Obviously, you haven't got to play in a system yet, but you got to be around him. You got to go on a visit with him, talk with him. What is just like off the court?
He's a cool guy. Like he's type of guy. He said he wants to go fishing with me. Like the one of the main things he was saying, he said is like if I'm not at your wedding, sitting with you, like I haven't done my job correctly. Like he's just one of those guys that it's not all about basketball. It's about creating great relationships, and obviously that's something that he's done. Everybody says great things about him, and I feel like he's got a lot of great relationships in his life, and I think that's also like I think that's when it begins. Like it's more than just basketball. Like it's basketball. The ball's gonna stop bouncing for you, and being able to create those great relationships and people that you can really learn from and really grow from is probably the most important part. So just hearing all those great things about him, and then obviously talking with him and seeing some of the things that he has in store, and things that he wants, and it just felt really good.
Fans obviously are excited for hopeful, at least I should say, of becoming a team that's relevant again. Obviously, they haven't been horrible, but it hasn't been obviously the best. They haven't been in a consistent year in, year out tournament team like that. Why should fans be excited and why should fans be bought into Coach Gates? Why should they believe that this can be the coach that can get them back to becoming a consistent team that's going to the tournament just about every year?
I think what he's been doing is just showing it, like all the recruits that he's got, and he's really building this team and the coaching staff that he's got. Guys that are very successful and know a lot, and I think it just shows that the future is very bright for Mizzou, and yeah, man, like it's time for us to put in the work and get better and really just go out there and just go crazy. It's time for the future to be bright.
The thing that I really love about this team so far that's put together is the fact that a lot of you guys have similar stories in terms of how you guys, in terms of basketball story, I should say, like besides Aiden Shaw, who obviously is coming as a top 50 recruit, every one of you guys have had to go a JUCO route or have had to go at a low major, mid major type school and work your way up to this point now, or JUCO, whatever it is. Like there's been multiple guys that haven't had it easy to per se. It's always have had to work to where you guys are at today, and a lot more than others might have had to. So when you see that group, and obviously you haven't been able to be around all of them yet, but just know that that's kind of the culture. You guys all share that same story. What's that going to be like?
I think when you get a lot of guys together that, kind of have the same motives and have the same feel and, are going to fight for the same reasons, that's what really makes a great team. And obviously we all have that drive in us and we come from, not necessarily the mud, but we come from the mud, we're going to grow and fight for everything that we have. And I'm really looking forward to going into battle with this team and really just growing and being the best that we can be. And I think we're going to do some special things.
I just asked you about why fans should be bonding Coach Gates to get this program back, but how about for yourself, as you as a player and also the rest of the guys, how do you guys plan on getting this team back to the tournament either this year, the following year, just getting this team back to become a relevant, consistent, great team in the SEC again?
I think we're gonna put that work in, and I think we're gonna get some wins. Obviously, I don't know what the SEC is like, and obviously I've played some SEC teams in my career before, but just going out there and just getting some wins and really just bettering the program. Just going out there and being the best that we can be and just giving our all.
Fans are going to be excited about yourself, though. So, what can you tell them that you're going to bring to this program when you step foot on that court? What are you bringing to Missouri?
I think I bring some experience and some grittiness and just a player that's I'm just gonna do. I think I'm gonna get it done. Just do whatever you need for me to do and I'm really looking forward to growing and bettering myself and getting my body in better shape and just becoming the best player that I can be and I'm really looking forward to doing some great things and really just trying to take it to the top and be the best I can be, like I said.
You do have 2 years of eligibility remaining. This is your senior year technically, but you could go back and use your COVID year if you decide to. Is that a possibility? I'm sure obviously you'll see how the year goes, and if there's an NBA opportunity or something, you might consider that. But is there a chance that fans could say you have a chance at least staying for 2 years? Like, is that on the table for yourself?
Yeah. I'm gonna go into this year and see what happens. But if all goes to what it's going to, I'm looking forward to taking my second year at Missouri and taking that COVID year and really just growing from this upcoming year and just trying to do things that haven't been done yet.
Now, there is something that is one of the newer things to college basketball too, is the NIL aspect. And I have to imagine that was a little bit bigger and a lot bigger stage for yourself now than you were at Northern Iowa. So what was the NIL pitch? Obviously, you're still going to kind of figure it out, I can imagine too, but what was the NIL pitch and was that any factor in your recruiting process?
There wasn't too much of a pitch. Obviously, I know just being at a bigger school, it's going to be, a little bit more abundant and, at a higher stage, it's going to come a little bit more easier. But obviously for myself, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And, creating some deals and some relationships is definitely exciting. But it wasn't too much in the recruitment, just because I wanted to go to a school that's going to be successful and that I know is going to be a good spot for me. But the NIL stuff definitely ties into it, and something I'm definitely looking forward to.
Now, these don't have to be reasonable, but if you could make one company to be sponsored by, who would that company be?
To be honest, like I've been thinking, like I really want to reach out to Bass Pro Shops because, like I said, I like to fish and I like to hunt, and I know Bass Pro Shops is founded in Missouri, so being able to set something up with them and hopefully they can see this or something, we can build a future and I can show them that I like doing some outdoorsy stuff. So hopefully I can get something going with them and move forward and grow with them.
But when your career at Missouri does come to a conclusion, if that is after 1 or 2 years, when you do leave, though, what do you want to be remembered for what you do both on and off the court? Like, what do you want to be remembered for throughout your career there?
Just a person that came and brought success to the school. A person that was respectful to everybody, did the right things. I really want to be the person that helps bring this program around and really changes it for the better. And I'm really looking forward to being able to have the opportunity to do that. Man, I really feel like I can be that person that does it. And it just, I'm excited for it. And I really can't wait to get down there and start doing it.
Well, something I want to wrap talking about is something that we did touch up on a little bit throughout the interview, and that is your faith. So to go a little bit deeper into that, though, when you talk about your life and this whole story we just talked about now, where would you say is the biggest moment you've had to trust God, or you've really had to really put your faith and your trust in God?
I mean, other than my whole life prior to where I'm at now, I'd say I really had to put trust in God, my faith in God. Just getting into the transfer portal and not knowing what was going to happen. I didn't know which schools were going to contact me after I entered the portal or where I was going to go, but I really just put my trust and my faith in God and just tell them, just tell me where to go and, tell me, what feels right. And I really feel like he has done that. And man, it's very exciting because I feel like this is all God's plan and he has the path for me. And I feel like I'm on that right path. And I just can't wait to continue to go out there and be a soldier for God and go out there and do the right things and live life and to the fullest and be the best that I can be.
Now, something that I respect about you is that you are outspoken about your faith. You put it, rather be in hashtags or in your comment section or your post captions, whatever it might be, like you're vocal about your faith. And now, obviously, there's nothing wrong with guys that don't decide to do that, that are believers. But what's led you to say, you know what, I want to be more vocal about my faith. I want to spread his light. I want to be his light to the world. What's led you to take that approach?
Um, just the realization that I wouldn't be here without him. He's blessed me in everything that I've done and he's given me the strength and he's given me everything that I can that I have today. And I gotta say thanks to my dad for, giving me that the sight to see him I'm very thankful every single day. I close my eyes and I sit down and pray every single night that just say thank you, for blessing me to be in the position that I'm at today, and for everything that he's going to do and everything that he has done. I think that's all I can ever ask for is just to put his loving hands on me and guide me to wherever I'm going to go in life, but to also give him his praise and to say thank you for everything that he's done for me, and I'm going to continue to do that.
As you grow and become a bigger and bigger platform and potentially make a lot more money, rather be playing the NBA or overseas, whatever God's got in store for you, are there certain avenues of life that you haven't kind of led to that you want to help out? Like if there's a certain way to give back to the community or orphans or homeless, whatever it might be, like is there a certain place that if you could choose some area of life that you'd want to give back to?
I haven't really thought too much about it. Obviously, I've kind of like, just like a couple weeks ago, I've kind of just been thinking, like using my platform to give back to the people around me and kind of just using my platform and my wisdom and kind of just becoming like a mentor kind of to some people that have been going through the same things that I used to go through and could use my help and just helping anybody as best I can. I'm kind of been, try to choose that avenue. And I'm definitely looking forward to when I have this bigger platform and, maybe have a little bit of more money down the line, just helping people in need. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. But yeah, I haven't really put too much thought into the future like that, but definitely is something that I'm definitely going to look into.
The final question, give Missouri fans your three biggest goals that you have set for your Missouri career.
One is to go make it to the NCAA tournament and be very successful and really make a deep run and hopefully win a national championship in my 2 years as I'm here in Missouri. And then second, goal for myself is to become an all SEC player. Become a player that's going to be very successful and person that's going to help help the team for the better and a person that the fans can rely on and know that he's going to be a person that's going to help the team. And then third, I would say just, man, I think the sky's the limit. I really think, I think I got some good things in my life and I'm really looking forward to doing them. And I think the sky's the limit. Like I said, like we got some good things and it's going to be a great time.
Well, Noah, congratulations on the commitment. I'm excited to see what God's got next for you throughout your career out there in Missouri. Keep being the light, man. Enjoy the rest of the offseason and appreciate taking time to come on today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the future.
Of course, man. You're always welcome on. God bless.
Yes, sir. Thank you.